So, I'll call the meeting to order, please. Okay. Okay, I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda, please. Torgerson and Blanchette. Okay, and is there anything to be added? Not at this time? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Adoption of the minutes of the March 24th, 2015 regular meeting. Reimer and Torgerson. Are there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Correspondence for action. We have a letter from the Valemount Youth Soccer with a request to waive the fees. And what is council's wish?
I would like to waive the fees.
Thank you, Councillor Blanchette and Councillor Salt. Motion that council waive the secondary school field fees for Valemount Youth Soccer. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Carried. And we have the reading file. Is there anything that council wishes to bring forward? Yes, Councillor Salt.
I found the letter from BC WWA, BC Water and Waste Association, very interesting, especially the paragraph where they're commenting on the report that they did, are our water systems at risk, where they were saying the report, which is based on analysis of 2013 audited financial statements from BC's municipalities, outlines 4 concerns about the financial sustainability of BC's water and wastewater systems. And the number 1 item is water and sewer fees are not covering the full cost of service delivery in many communities. In the worst cases, rates would need to nearly double in order to reach financial sustainability. 2, many communities are vulnerable as they have not set aside sufficient reserves to buffer against unexpected changes in operating costs or revenues. 3, smaller communities have greater financial gaps than larger communities as costs are shared across a small base of users. And then 4, not as applicable towards Valemount, but there is an unfunded liability of over $13 billion to renew and replace water and wastewater infrastructure when it comes to the end of its useful life. Additional investment will be required. So I found this really, really interesting, and it really tied into what we've been working on, or at least the previous council had been working on, as far as some of the fees that we put in place. So,
okay, anything further? Are you recommending any action?
No, I just wanted to raise that because it was interesting that this was an overall picture that they found from all municipalities in BC based on financial statements from audited statements from 2013 of all BC municipalities. So this is a huge problem and concern across BC, and I know across Canada. Mm-hmm. Our infrastructure is aging, and in past years, municipalities were getting far more grant dollars and all of that, and things have been downloaded on the local governments to try and manage these items. And it's hard, and it's a challenge that current councils are faced with trying to continue providing the quality services that we are expected to provide by the health authorities and by the governments without impacting our taxpayers terribly. It's a huge challenge, and we do our best. So we have to make sure, though, that we do provide that proper services. So.
Madam Administrator, has anything had to be added to our water facilities since 2009 when the water filtration plant was installed?
New infrastructure, you mean?
Anything requiring renovation or amendment or improvement? Because I know that we had to install a water filtration plant in 2009. But I also know that we got a $1 million grant from the federal government, a $1 million grant from the provincial government, and the village borrowed $750,000 for the balance of a $3 million project. Is that all that was necessary to keep things as they are, in good condition? Is our water system...
Our water,
yeah.
The treatment plant is fine.
Everything?
Our intake is fine. Our pipes are aging, and pipes are very expensive to replace because they're under paved roads.
Okay, yes, of course. Okay, and I believe that Fifth Avenue water pipes were all redone before the
That's correct.
revitalization. Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. So is there anything further to bring forward from the reading file? Councillor Torgerson.
I could probably, if it pleases council, Madam Mayor, I could probably make the Kamloops edition of the emergency workshop, emergency planning workshop.
Which is,
May 11th, 10:30 to 2:30.
okay.
That would be great.
Does council have any comments, or does anybody else want to go along?
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
I think
Are there
that
any
would-
other options?
I would really appreciate that. I didn't feel that there was a need for myself to attend. I've been through this before. I've taken Emergency Operations Center level 1 and 3 and whatever. So I've taken plenty of this training, but I felt very strongly that some, if not all of newly elected councils should try and participate. So if you're able to make it fit in your schedule, I think it's great. And being that Councillor Torgerson is also on the Emergency Planning Committee with me, I think it would be a huge asset for you to attend. So.
Do we have a staff person that's designated as an emergency program coordinator as well, that could attend as well?
That's my role.
That's your role?
And once again, I attended a lot of these.
Okay, so then
planning
it's not
courses as
necessary.
well.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
But if you have another staff person that you think should attend,
We could.
you can always do it later. Okay? All right. So I guess I'll take a motion under this that Councillor Torgerson represent the village of Valemount at the meeting on May the 11th. Salt and Blanchette. Okay?
I'll be in favor of that.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Torgerson. Okay.
Thanks for volunteering.
Yes. And the Trans-Canada Highway resolution,
Thank you very much for bringing that forward.
wasn't that a good
Yeah,
resolution?
Very good. I look
Yes.
forward to bringing this to the
Yes.
to the table at the AGM in 2 weeks in
Yes.
Edmonton. It's leading up to be a very exciting conference in AGM because it has been joined with the Urban Traffic Safety Conference, which is people from worldwide will be attending this conference. So it's leading up to be very exciting. And the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association has been having some challenges with where they've been, where we are, and where we're going. So a whole review of strategic plan and revitalizing the association, and the focus is really going to be directed on, yes, we all have the highway now, but now we want it twinned, and really lobbying not only provincial governments but the federal government as well to provide the same kind of attention to the Trans-Canada Yellowhead 16 and 5 as they do with the Trans-Canada 1. So it's a whole new direction.
Actually, a former Minister of Transportation told me quite a number of years ago that 2015 they were supposed to commence twinning from Kamloops to Tijon. And so they've done that to the Sun Peaks turnoff from Kamloops, but probably the Sea to Sky Highway for the Olympics in 2010 took the balance of the money that we could have used. But I want to thank the Corporate Secretary, Mr. Young, for formulating this, composing this resolution for us, and I did forward it to the administrator of the Yellowhead Highway Association shortly after this was done. I believe mid-March it went to him, and I copied you as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So they've got it.
Yes. they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing further, just a motion and a seconder to receive the correspondence, then all in favor? Carried. Administrator reports. We have the accounts payable report rather. And a motion that council accepts the March 2015 accounts payable report for information purposes. Salt and Torgerson. Is there any discussion, any comments? Are there any questions, Councillor Torgerson?
Just help with an acronym, Madam Mayor, if I may. EDIS Computers, the $682 for annual hosting.
Which number is that?
That's mine.
Oh,
That's the hosting company for the Walk Around the World.
okay.
And that comes out of the Northern Health money that's in the bank.
Any further questions? Yes?
And just a comment that the visual aids, the aviation visual aids at the airport have been upgraded, and that's awesome to hear.
Good. Okay. Councillor Reimer.
I had a question. I noticed that there was a payment for returning the amount of the builder's lien holdback for that sewer project. What's happening with all the piles of dirt?
Sorry?
What's happening with all the piles of dirt?
That's for a spring cleanup. The project went fairly late in fall and they froze. It was separated out as a separate project, the repaving, because that still needs to happen as well.
Which Westridge isn't responsible for?
Yep, completely responsible for.
They are.
Yep.
But they were given their holdback.
That's correct, because it was separated out into a separate project. The other project will have its own holdback.
Oh, I see, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further, councillors? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.2, Director of Finance, so the Columbia Basin Trust and Community Initiatives Program Audit Staff Report. And it's a motion to receive for information purposes only, Salt and Torgerson. Are there any questions or discussion? Any clarification required by you? Hearing none, all in favor?
Madam Mayor, sorry.
Okay, sorry, Councillor Salt.
I found it very nice to actually see that an audit had happened. It had been many, many years that we've been under this program with CBT, and the village has always done its best to ensure to follow their agreement. And there's been improvements over the years, and I think the system that we have now has been very well fine-tuned. So it was kind of nice to see this audit and see that they do have some recommendations for some areas of still improvement, which might have already been implemented since 2013. So I just was really very pleased to be able to see this report. So Thank you to staff for all the great work they've been doing with that.
Yes. And I see that there are, 7 recommendations and observations and whatever. And with respect to the naming of Columbia Basin Trust as an additional insured party, that's been looked after?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And we are all very happy. The former CBT board members working group, we're all very happy to see all this money being made available through wise investments over the years to our municipalities throughout the basin. Motion to receive the committee recommendations from CBT. Staff recommendation that council approves the adjudication committee's recommended funding amounts for 2015 projects. And there's 2 items that Councillor Blanchette wants to declare a conflict of interest, and that's with respect to the Legion and the Lions Club.
I just wanted to switch them so when I go out, I don't have to go in and out and in and out.
Okay.
Are you on the board of the Legion?
She's a
No,
member.
I'm a member.
She's
So-
As a member, you don't
I
have a
don't think
conflict?
so either.
Okay, well, I'll just continue what I did already because I stepped out, but I'm just saying,
Yep.
when I leave for the chamber, if you can do Chamber of Commerce and then the Valemount Marina, that would be great, then I wouldn't have to disrupt and keep
Okay, but
disrupting.
nothing to do with the Legion. It's just the
Yeah, I have to step out for 5,
number 5. Okay.
For 5 items.
for 5 items, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we approve each one individually, or can we do it in?
Well, if there were no conflicts, then
Okay.
council could certainly deal with the recommendation as one recommendation. However,
Okay.
I am well aware that there's a number of people around
Okay.
the horseshoe who,
Okay.
aside from the Council of Blanchette, who may have a conflict. So I would recommend strongly that each of the items be dealt with separately.
All right. We shall do that then.
Your Worship, Councillor Torgerson.
Yes, and you have one too.
Well, I have many. Just a procedural note, Mr. Young, as a council-appointed representative to the various proponents in this, is there a perceived conflict?
As a council-appointed representative, no.
Thank you.
It's good to clarify.
Okay, good.
For the record.
For the record.
Okay, okay. So we shall start with the first one then, which I believe is the Valemount Volunteer Fire Department Association live burn training facility. And a motion, please, to approve that one. Torgerson and Salt, all in favor? Carried. The next one is the Vale Mountain Area Recreation Development Association for the Valemount Mountain Bike Trails Facility Phase Completion, or Phase 1 of the completion. Motion to approve, Salt and Torgerson. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. That's in the Columbia Basin area, is it? The trails?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And, yes?
I need to recuse myself as I'm a member of the Royal Canadian Legion for these next two.
But are the
Not
junior
there yet.
rangers, not the junior rangers?
The Royal Canadian Legion has applied for this one and
We're only,
the next.
we're only up to your. We still have your and the Valemount Learning Center.
What?
We just did the bike trail.
Just at the bike trail.
We just did the bike trail, and now it's the junior rangers?
Yes.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
You're not a member of that, are you?
Spreadsheet.
But-
Not the Rangers, but it was the application was made under the Royal Canadian Legion.
I don't think that that would be a conflict if you have nothing to do with that particular program.
No, I have no
Okay.
You're not on the board of
association.
directors.
And there's
right?
nothing to approve here anyway,
On the
because
board.
they,
But if there's any discussion, I just feel
There's-
that
Yeah.
I need.
okay,
Yeah, because the recommendation is that the junior rangers not receive,
not receive it, so there's nothing to approve.
other than,
The recommendation.
yeah, that they not receive money.
Okay, what is council's wish? That the Royal Canadian Legion, Valemount Junior Rangers, enhanced equipment for backcountry use, that they not be given any funds? Who wants to make that motion? Councillor Salt?
Can I speak on it?
Yes?
I know how difficult this is. It's a very difficult challenge for this committee to go through this. It's difficult for applicants to not always receive funding that they wish to have. I have been on the committee before and have had to be in place of doing these difficult decisions, so I thank very much the committee members this year for the difficult tasks that they were challenged with. So I strongly support any decisions that they are recommending, because I know how difficult and the hours upon hours that they have deliberated on these decisions, and they've made their decisions obviously for reasons that we may not always have be privy to all the information to, but I support their decisions.
You're getting ready to leap up and...
Well, yeah, I'm just confused because on all of my paperwork, it says we're only doing the cross-country grooming equipment, which I don't have to step out for, but I had previously stepped out for the 2 Legion items, so.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah. So this,
this is,
actually, what is happening is that we're following along through the agenda rather than this list here.
Okay, so, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll just leave.
All right,
It's just
thank you.
easier. So please just state...
Just because I am a member of the Legion.
And that, Councillor, that is 2 items, this item and the following item,
Yeah. And then
Thank you.
what's the third item, please? After that?
the Learning Center, which is much further along the agenda.
Okay. And Councillor Torgerson, you're
I'm
going to-
recusing myself.
Okay. All right, so Councillor Salt, yes, you want to make the motion.
I'd like to also continue. It's not that I don't support
Okay.
all the different groups. I know they all have very worthwhile causes and everything, and it doesn't mean that they can't apply in future years. Perhaps there wasn't enough information on their applications for the committee to make an informed decision. So that's, like I said, it's just, I know what it's like to go through that process. It's not an easy process, and that's why. It's not that I don't support these groups and what they were applying for. It's just I know the difficulty that the committee goes through making the decisions. I just wanted to clarify that for all the groups.
So, a motion then to just receive it. Yes, Councillor Reimer.
Madam Mayor, would the committee have provided them with the reasons, perhaps?
I would hope so.
If I
Yes.
may, without going into details here, the committee did have reasons for recommending that they not receive funds.
Okay.
And subject to council's decision this evening, we would then be writing to them to advise them what the reasons were.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, excellent.
All right, so we have a mover and a seconder for that. All in favor? Carried. All right, the Royal Canadian Legion Hall upgrades. Motion to approve the $13,000 grant for the upgrades. Okay, Reimer and Salt, is there any question or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried.
And
Yes?
If Valemount Learning Center, Councillor Blanchette will want to recuse herself for that as well.
Not for the learning
Not
center.
not
Oh, that's
for
sorry.
the,
She wants,
no.
She'll be the next one, tourism.
Okay.
Tourism
Valemount
Valemount.
Learning Center will be the next one.
Yeah.
So, Madam Administrator, should we just skip or do these and then leave her out there for just the one? And we can skip these until she's back?
we could come back to these.
Yes. And what about Councillor Torgerson?
I think she'll
Let's be really careful not to
Yeah,
miss
not to
any
miss any.
altogether.
Yeah.
Torgerson back.
Oh, well, then I could have.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, thanks very much.
I think they're both out for the Valemount Marina Association. And,
That's true.
yes.
They switched the order.
You're gonna be coming and going whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Keep you awake.
Okay, which other one do we have to skip because of Councillor Blanchette? Or not skip? Oh, the Valemount Area Chamber of Commerce.
The Marina
Yes.
Association.
Marina Association?
And
Then Councillor Torgerson needs to go out too.
there's the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay,
Yeah, that is it.
okay.
So,
So we shall do those now, shall we? And so Councillor Torgerson, you may as well go.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm confused
I'm
now
getting
too.
very confused.
It might be better to do them in order so we don't miss any.
Do them in order?
Yeah.
Oh, then we need Councillor Blanchette
I fear
back
that we'll
then,
miss
too.
a resolution.
I'm very
Okay, we
worried
need
about
Councillor Blanchette back then too.
Yeah. I know. It's
uh,
just, it's easier to just do them in order.
Yeah, just get some exercise.
Okay. We're going to do
Valemount
the
Learning Society. You're, sorry. You.
Valemount Learning Society. Okay. So motion to approve the $13,597 Valemount Learning Society project for the Valemount V Crew Youth Center. Torgerson and Salt. Any questions? Any comments? All in favor? Carried. Now, is there conflict on the Cranberry Marsh Trail Boardwalk Phase 2?
I had stepped out at our CBT meeting.
Okay.
Just because I'm a councillor and I was assigned that committee, so,
but that does not, because you're a council appointee, that does not put you in a conflict.
No.
okay.
No. Okay. So motion please to approve the Tourism Valemount Cranberry Marsh Trail Boardwalk Phase 2. And it's Blanchette and Reimer. All in favor? Carried. Yellowhead Outdoor Recreation Association cross-country ski trail grooming equipment. Motion to approve, please. Torgerson and Reimer. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Valemount Minor Hockey Association. The council approved the grant of $4,980. Salt and Torgerson. Yes?
4,980?
Yep.
Yes. I said 4,980.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
4,980. Yes,
Sorry, my
okay.
apologies.
No, that's all right. I should have said 4,000, not just 4,980. Okay. All in favor? Carried. Next, we go to the Vail Mountain Area Chamber of Commerce website development.
Canoe Valley Community Association.
Okay, sorry. I was on wrong page. Canoe Valley Community Association, Active Living Kids, $15,848. Motion to approve. Reimer and Blanchette, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Valemount Community Sports Day Association, the Youth Initiative Program and rental of bouncy castles from Vail Mountain Days. And that's for $2,800. Motion to approve. Okay. Take your choice, Mr. Secretary. I'll say Blanchette and Reimer, okay? All in favor? Carried. Valemount Marina Association, Councillors Torgerson and Blanchette.
Recusing myself.
Conflict of interest? Yes, okay.
President and Treasurer.
What?
President and Treasurer, well, there you go.
Sorry.
Members of the executive.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Can you pull your chair in?
Not very much. I'm as close as I can get.
All right, there's that. Okay, motion to approve the grant. Oh, motion to deny it. Approve the denial. Salt and Reimer. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried.
And a small point of order,
Yes?
so as we inconvenience Councillor Blanchette as little as possible.
Okay.
Perhaps we could flip the page.
Okay,
And
and,
I don't think we'll lose our order.
Chamber of
And go to
Commerce
the
is
Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And we just need to call Councillor Torgerson back to the room.
he's council's appointed, but that's
That's
okay.
right, yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
Just Councillor Torgerson?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yep,
Does not receive.
On the board of directors.
yes,
It does not receive.
does not, yeah. I think you're in here to stay now.
I think so.
Councillor Torgerson, okay. Vail Mountain Area Chamber of Commerce website development, a motion to approve that the Chamber of Commerce does not receive the funds for website development. Okay, Torgerson and Salt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. So now we can have Councillor Blanchette back, and we do the Robson Valley spay and neuter,
Yes.
right? Okay. This is what happens when it's a small community, is that people are serving on many different associations. I think you're in here to stay now too, Councillor Blanchette. Robson Valley Spay and Neuter Society, the Community Spay and Neuter Program, moved that the society receives $5,000 for their program. Motion to approve, Blanchette and Torgerson. And are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And the Valemount Lions Club Access and Mobility Program, that the Valemount Lions Club receives $34,277 for the Access and Mobility Program. Motion to approve, Salt and Torgerson. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried.
Historic Society.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we already did.
Valemount,
Did you chamber?
yeah, Valemount Historic Society produced the Play Valley tracks. Moved and seconded that the Valemount Historic Society does not receive the funds to produce the play. Motion, please, Blanchette and Torgerson, that the Historic Society not receive the amount requested. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Once again, the Robson Valley Spray and Neuter Society Community Pet Identification Program. It recommends that the Robson Valley Spay and Neuter Society receive $2,250 for the Community Pet Identification Project. Motion to approve, Blanchette and Salt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And the Square Danza Interactive Dance Awareness Programming in Public Schools. Recommendation that the Danza Club does not receive funds for interactive dance awareness programming. Blanchette and Salt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. I think that's it.
It's a lot of motions.
I'd just like to thank staff too for all the great work
Yes.
that they did, and to the committee, because I had never done this before, and it's a lot of work, it's a lot of headaches, because you really want to give out everything, and you want to see everything succeed, and it's really, really tough. So
it is.
kudos to the entire committee and to staff for all the great work and help that they did.
Yeah.
Really good.
Mayor Townsend.
Yes.
And on my behalf, I'd like to thank the committee members. I'd also like to speak very highly of Jordan Hammond, our intern, who has done yeoman's work supporting the committee and helping to organize the public presentation evening, which was really a great success. So, Jordan, I know you're out there. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I think the next item on the agenda is the, oops, that's with our Tourism Valemount, yes. The receipt of their minutes of their meeting, as well as their recommendation that the council appoint Francis Mearsman to the Tourism Valemount Board. What is council's wish? Salt and Torgerson. Is there any discussion? Here, yes, Councillor Torgerson.
On behalf of council, I believe Mr. Mearsman is a welcome addition to that committee. Even without voting privileges, he has been in attendance and provided thorough, thoughtful discussion.
Great.
And I think because it's the hotels and motels that do all the work in collecting the money for this society, that it is their representation that's really necessary on there, and they deserve it. Thank you. And so you can advise them. All right, now, pardon? Oh, sorry. All in favor? Carried. Okay. And we have the monthly village report. Motion to receive, please. Blanchette and Torgerson. And it's open for discussion. Any questions? Salt?
Seeing that this council hasn't had our opportunity to do strategic priorities yet, and based on the existing strategic priorities, and knowing some of the challenges that are coming ahead with some funding and grants and getting work completed on certain buildings, and without having to request time extensions, I'm wondering if, for example, the Valemount Historic Society, the Valemount Museum, if that wouldn't fall under number 6, develop a comprehensive infrastructure strategy. I know it's not infrastructure, however, it is one of our assets, and we have applied for a grant to develop a tangible capital asset assessment. Would we be able to fit that under there in order to help put this as an item, as a priority item on staff's desks and not as a side item, because it doesn't fall on the strategic priorities?
If you wish to make a motion, go ahead. Yes.
Speak to that. It is actually included as that.
Okay.
Corporate Officer Young is certified in historic, and I'm sorry, I'm using entirely the wrong terminology, heritage buildings.
Heritage buildings, yeah.
And he's going to be creating a scope of work for this project. Sadly, I think the scope has been quite underestimated till now.
Yeah.
But that's certainly the
We're
first
working on
step
that, yeah.
in
Okay, so it is,
as part of this
staff are seeing it as it is
strategy.
falling in under this then?
Correct.
Thank you.
That may not mean that the village is funding it. Most of our capital projects, as you know,
I know,
are funded
yeah.
through grant money.
But as long as it is falling under this list of strategic priorities, that means it's an active item and not an item
It's an
that
active item.
can be pushed off to the side of the desk. I just want to, I know, I've been really pushing this meeting after meeting after meeting, but I just want to make sure and ensure that I let the board know that I wanted to confirm that and follow up, so I can at least report back to them after this meeting and let them know what I found. So thank you very much.
Okay. And the board is comprised of residents who have lived here for decades, and this has always been their home, and it is their home, and they work very hard, and they are volunteers. And so, Councillor Salt, I want to thank you for assisting them wherever you can. Yes, Councillor Salt.
I also would really like to thank board member Tom Jamin for working and staff for working together on the first meeting. We'll be having a follow-up meeting, which I hope I'll be able to attend. But I really thank Corporate Officer Young, CAO Yanciw, and our building inspector Schneider for meeting with him as well to get this progressing. I really appreciate that, so thank you.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Is there anything further that council wishes to bring forward?
It was nice to see the community forest financials
Yes.
information.
Yes, very much so. And yes, Councillor Salt?
The Staff Professional Development Day, what's that? I'm curious.
We're incorporating a number of some of the legislated WorkSafe BC training that we're required to do.
Yes.
Update on policies. Not all of our staff has been around since.
Right, yeah.
Some have been hired after policies have been
Right.
updated, some were hired before, so update on that. Some team building activities, some work on communication. We've got a number of things that we'll just incorporate into one day.
Awesome, great,
So
thank you.
We'll actually be closing the office that day.
Whew. Okay.
But you'll be open for the council meeting.
For which?
For the council meeting on the
This is
20th.
correct. We're closed from 9 till 3,
Okay.
so not the entire day.
So if there's nothing further there, I think we have a mover and a seconder to receive it. All in favor of receipt? Carried. And the next agenda item is the 5-year financial plan bylaw number 738. And some motion, please, to give this third reading. Blanchette and Torgerson, are there any questions?
It's a little bit disappointing that our finance officer goes to a lot of work and we can't seem to get citizens to come out to the meeting to see everything and to understand what's going on and where the money goes, and just trying to figure out if there's another way to get everybody to come out.
Pizza.
Yes, Councillor Salt?
We actually did have a citizen come, but they remained in the parking lot until they saw if anyone else came because they didn't want to be the only one, so. But this has been a common theme over the last number of years. Council have shown up, staff have shown up, and we've had one or two public. But at the same time, for those public that have come, we've been able to have very candid and casual conversations and answer their questions. And so in that respect, it's been nice. But you sometimes wish more would come out.
Okay, so next year it's pizza.
Well, then nobody has anything to complain about.
Well, exactly. That means then, if you're not going to show up, you better not complain.
Okay, all in favor of third reading? Carried. Council reports? I don't remember which way I started last, so I'll start with Councillor Blanchette.
Okay, the 25th, we did the facade brochure handouts to the businesses on 5th and the highway entrance here with Jordan's help. Everybody is quite excited about the program, so we're hoping that we get a lot of applications this year. On the 26th, I had a telephone conference with the Alzheimer's group in Vancouver, just keeping our dementia program going, fine-tuning it. They're hopefully coming up in June, so I'm hoping to have a meeting at the seniors in June with them and with the public that will be interested in coming. There'll be more on that later. April 1st, Shirley Bond came and visited us, had a good talk with us. A lot of questions, a lot of answers. It's always fantastic when she comes. Then we went over to the fire hall where she presented a check to the firemen. April 2nd and April 14th, I had 2 in-camera meetings.
That's it.
Thank you. Councillor Reimer.
March 28th, went to the first responders dinner at the Legion, and the Legion did a terrific job of hosting that. Unfortunately, only one RCMP member was able to attend that evening. And although 50% of our paramedics showed up, which isn't a whole lot considering there are only 4 paramedics that we have at the moment, and a number of firefighters showed up, so that was great. Thank you for the Legion for doing that.
Yes.
It was excellent.
Thank you.
And April 1st, I was at the same meetings as Councillor Blanchette, and April 2nd and April 14th.
Thank you. Councillor Salt.
Okay, I missed a meeting last time, so I've got to go back here a little ways to March 12th through the 14th. I attended the Transcontinental Head Highway Association Board of Directors meeting, as I'm on their board for the BC caucus. And like I said, we had a very productive and interesting meeting, very excited and looking forward to our AGM. Myself and Director Bill Kershaw of the Townsend-Nicola Regional District have a little bit of work in trying to get some new directors on the BC caucus, because I believe as it stands right now, he and I are the only 2 left. We've had 2 very long-term members that have recently passed away that has had a huge impact on the association, because they were very well-respected members, spoke very highly of the association, were huge advocates, and that was Harry Croker from Merritt and Ralph Roy from Kitimat-Stikine, I believe, Regional District. And so that was...
Actually, he was from Nechako.
Nechako, was he
Yeah,
Nechako?
Parkway, Nechako.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of work there, but it's exciting, and we had, like I said, a very great meeting, and I'll be attending the AGM next council meeting, so I said my regrets now that I won't be here, but I hope to come back with some very great reports and some progression there. Oh my goodness. I attended on March 17th a council budget meeting. I also attended on March 20th, the VGD's master plan public presentation. Then I had surgery, sorry. And then on April 1st, met with Minister Bond as well. That was, like Councillor Blanchette says, it's always wonderful to meet with her, to bounce things off of her, let her know what challenges we're currently having, what projects we're working on, and to have her be a champion for us as well. And again, went to the fire station, and so that was a lot of fun too, being able to actually walk through there. I've never walked through the station, so it was a lot of fun, and I'm very pleased and happy that they were able to be awarded some funding. And then attended a special in-camera council meeting on April 2nd, and today, the 14th. And on April 7th, I also had a Historic Society Board meeting, and as you know, I'm championing items there. So, and then I also attended on April 8th the public budget presentations, and thank you for those that did come or attempt to come.
Thank you, Councillor Salt. Councillor Torgerson.
When was the last council meeting? 24th.
24th.
It was 3 weeks in.
March 21st, March 28th, I was with Councillor Reimer at the First Responders Dinner, at which Minister Bond was in attendance as well. Handed out some well-deserving certificates of appreciation to the 3 groups of first responders that help our village. On the April 1st, again, an informal meet with Minister Bond. April 2nd, special meeting at Council. April 8th, public budget meeting. April 7th, I'll backtrack a little bit, was Tourism Valemount. The visitor guides for summer winter are just around the corner. We are hosting the drag races again for snowmobiles. We did do appointments to several of the committees and subcommittees that they do have on that board. For example, the Marsh Trail, the Boardwalk Trail, etc. We are looking to revise our terms of reference, and a huge announcement that the Mount Robson Marathon, even though you run up a mountain and back down a mountain, it is changing to an ultra marathon designation. So you have to run a little bit further and a little bit higher.
Okay.
So it's 50K in and back, and you basically go up to the first meadows of Mount Robson. I'm not participating. We're sending representation to the Edmonton and Saskatoon snowmobile shows, and we're looking to finalize our budget. On the 13th, I attended the regular meeting of the Valemount Community Forest Corporation Company. Awesome. We're attending the Premier's dinner. Some of the board members are attending the Premier's dinner on Friday. Unfortunately, Right Honourable Premier Clark will not be in attendance, but Mr. Dion will be. We're not harvesting currently, just with the road bans, it's just not feasible. The volume-based apportionment has been released, which is great news. We no longer have to react as badly. We can begin to plan. The overall licensing has gone down 33%. We're looking to work with that as best as we can, and we are starting to enter planning cell negotiations. And the McBride Community Forest has expressed interest in having a C2C with the Valemount Community Forest Board to communicate goals, long-range sustainability. It's our turn to host as this has happened before, so hopefully we can come to a date soon, sometime after the 15th of May would be nice. And the RESULTS, it's a results, but it's a reporting system of all your cuts. And staff, before they left on well-deserved holidays, entered copious amounts of data sets, had the system audit those checks, and the system is sound. What the biggest result of all this work is that we actually cannot overcut, because this, as you enter your silviculture information, as you enter your cutting, your cubic meters, we won't be one of those corporations that go over our allocated cut. And I believe that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Torgerson. And I want to thank Councillor Torgerson for representing me at the First Responders Dinner hosted by the Legion, and for reading a letter on my behalf. But I had been scheduled to be in Cranbrook at the former board members working group, and which I attended, and from there went to Fairmont for the investment and audit committee meetings. And I must say, while everybody thinks, oh my, she was at Fairmont Hot Springs, I want to tell you, I saw the lobby, my room, and the meeting rooms and parking lot.
Sounds like UBCM.
Yeah. So that was that. Now, we did have, I knew that the apportionment announcement was coming down, because we did have a teleconference call with several ministers, as well as Minister Steve Thompson, and our representatives from the Valemount Community Forest, McBride Community Forest, and Carrier. Okay. Last week, I attended the Council of Forest Industries convention, and that was registration and hotel room was compliments of Council of Forest Industries, and met with Ministers Thompson again and Bond. And in the evening, I was invited to a dinner with I believe there was 15 of us, perhaps to 18 maximum, with Federal Minister of National Revenue, Carrie Lynn Findlay, and received some interesting information there too, which I can relay to you at another time. But I do want to say that one very, very nice special comment that was made at that meeting. There is a firm that has offices in Prince George and in Surrey, and these are engineers from Turkey. And it's low-income housing that they produce, and so I know that we'll be able to network with them in the future. But one of the nice things was that they had passed their exams that new citizens have to take. And somebody said, well, welcome, you are now a citizen of Canada. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm a citizen of paradise. And he feels that all Canadians should consider that as well. And I thought that was one of the nicest things that someone could say, because it's so true. Okay? So thank you very much. Okay. And motion to receive the council reports. Blanchette and Salt, all in favor? Carried. New business? None. List of outstanding previous council resolutions. There is a list of outstanding previous, just motion to receive, I guess. Okay. Blanchette and Reimer. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Calendar of events. Motion to receive. Okay. Torgerson and Salt. Any comments or discussions? I was looking forward to attending the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association annual general meeting, but I see it's council night.
Yes, so
So-
you have to stay and share. Sorry, I'll
That's all
represent
right.
the village.
That's all right.
She has to, because otherwise it's me.
Well, unless you think you would like to.
I told her we can maybe see if we can squeeze in her schedule that she can teleconference the actual AGM, because we are entitled, Valemount is entitled to 2 votes at the AGM
Yes,
for the
that's right.
Trans-Canada.
Cool,
So
yes.
Mayor Townsend has participated before via teleconference when I was in
Yes,
Russell, Manitoba.
that's right.
So,
That's
yeah,
right,
So
yeah.
we'll see if she can't teleconference.
So I'm just, where is it next year?
Saskatoon.
Okay.
Or Regina. No, I think we're
No,
Saskatoon.
Regina's on number 1.
We're Saskatoon.
So it would have to be
Yes,
Saskatoon because that's the Yellowhead.
Yes.
All right, and as a past president and life member, I feel somewhat deprived. However.
My turn.
First things first. It's okay. All right. Public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to make a public comment? Yes.
Marie Burkbeck, 1433 6th Avenue. I really want to thank the CBT Adjudication Committee for the hard work that you've done. I know it was a really hard decision. And on behalf of the Valemount Community Sports Day Association, I just want to make a public announcement that Valemount Days has been canceled this year due to lack of volunteers. And it's ironic that this is National Volunteer Week, but we don't have anybody, so.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Motion to receive the public comment, please. Okay, Torgerson and Salt. All in favor? Carried. And notice to proceed in camera, that council proceed to an in-camera council meeting for consideration of 2 items per section 90.1 of the community charter. Okay, Salt and Reimer. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you for coming, everybody.